Hey folks, welcome back to the shooting range. My name's Chris and I'll show you a few things. I went to the range today and sorry I didn't take any videos, but had a good time. Went with a buddy of mine, old Army buddy, Chad Maynard. Mentioned him quite a few times. But decent time. I'll show you some pictures of the targets we shot and my guns again. What I didn't show in the last video was my 20 gauge Mossberg 500. I'll give you a close-up of that, and I'll be cleaning my guns today. So for starters, when I'm going to the range, the ammo that I picked, it's fairly cheap at Walmart. It's only like $14 for a box of 20 for the 308s, but it's pretty neat. It's a little 308 cartridge. It's 147 grain full metal jacket. The rounds are Perfectus. It's an Italian company that makes those. Like I said, they're like $12.44 at Walmart, which ain't bad. I got the other ones for hunting. Winchester 308s, power points, soft points. They're 150 grain. These ones I'll be taking out when deer season opens up. Again, same size cartridge, just got that soft point right at the end. So I fired a couple of those. They got a little bit more of a kick than the other ones do, but they're fairly decent. I mean, they hit the target pretty good. Show you one of the targets that we shot at. I think this one was at 50 yards. The smaller holes are 223s. There's also a 5.56. The bigger holes are the 308. My buddy Chad had his M4 with him, so we were shooting that too. So here's the first one. We did pretty good. We got a little tight grouping here, which was pretty much all my first two of these were out of the first four for the group. And there's 8 big holes, which are the 8 rounds that I fired out of it, and he shot a couple little ones. And that was the 50-yard target. Fired 2 groups of 4. I didn't do too bad. Did a fairly good grouping with my 308, and I'm very happy and ready and set, ready to go for deer season, which starts November 19th and goes through December 11th. So I'm very excited about that. And then here's another one set at 100 yards, which I was very surprised I got a grouping as I did. I mean, it's all around, but again, it's at 100 yards. Most of it's in the green. But I was very surprised, as you see, that one right there, and then you got 2 right next to it and 1 over here. Now my buddy Chad with his M4, it's just plain iron sights, just like the M16, same with the little peg and the circle. They have to put the peg in dead center of the circle, and he nailed the 100 yards with an M4 iron sights and got that one over there too. I'm very proud of him for doing that. I shot it a few times. I'm very happy I got to shoot an M4. I haven't fired an M4 or an M16 style gun since 2008 when I got out of the military. It's a very, very good gun. Didn't expect. I was kind of anticipating a kick because the 308 kicks quite a bit. Absolutely no kick from the M4, obviously, because it's got it's a spring reloader, coil spring for the reduced kickback. But very good gun. Now the rounds that I have for my 20 gauge, sorry, are Winchester Super X rifled slugs. 1600 velocity, 3¼ ounce slugs, 2 3/4 inch shell. Again, Winchester. High brass, hollow point lead slug, and that's what I got my doe with last year, opening day of deer season. So all around, that's a 20 gauge kicks just about as much as a 308 does. But yeah, those are the rounds that I fire, and I'll show you the guns. We're going to start off with showing you the Mossberg 500. I have 2 barrels for it. The first barrel is right here, and it is, let's see here, 28-inch barrel. It's got the rail on it. It's got the front sight post, a little bead on it, and it's got this little itty bitty, I don't know if you can see it right here, little brass bead on there to line those two up. It's probably see how dirty it is, I don't know. I fired this the other day, went out hunting, got a couple squirrels, but fired a few rounds through it, and I'm gonna clean that one too. Let's get to my shotgun here. It's just this gun's about as old as I am. I'm not supposed to have that closed, but it's nice. The other barrel on here is, I believe, 24-inch barrel. The scope I have on it is a Tasco scope. It's belonged to my dad. My scope did. He gave the gun to me, and when I got it, I fired with the iron sights, which are right here, which that flips up, and there's a little metal plate on there that you have to unscrew the little screw that's up on top of here and raise and lower that little plate to sight it in. And I was having a difficult time doing it because no matter how I set the sights up, it did not want to hit the target properly. So the side plate was already on the rifle. I'll show you that. Watch this. This right here, this plate that runs from here all the way down to here, and it had 2 screw holes right here. I went to Dick's, I went to Field and Stream, and I went to a place in town, up, called Scott's Guns, and nobody had a side mount that would fit on this 20 gauge. Scott's had one for a 12 gauge, but it did not fit correctly on this. So I went to a local shop in my hometown, Elmira Heights, New York, and asked them if they had a side mount for a 20 gauge Mossberg 500. They immediately went to the aisle, pulled one out, took it out of the package, and checked to see if it fit, and sure enough, it fit. Got the side mount and the rings to put the scope on it. Got this nifty little side saddle, which holds 5 rounds for the shotgun. Got that right up at Field and Stream, only for a few bucks. But this is my 20 gauge Mossberg that belonged to my grandfather, my father's father. He passed it down to him, and last year my dad gave it to me. So, and this is what I got my first deer with. I'm very proud of this gun. I don't have any issues firing it. The scope works fine on it. Everybody's like, why you got a scope on a shotgun? See better, aim better. Plus the iron sights don't work for me, so. But anyway, Mossberg 500. Alright, here's the 308. I know I showed this to you in the first video, but not much more I can say. I mean, it's a beautiful gun. Again, Field & Stream, after tax, $410. I recommend if you get Savage Axis 308 or any of the Savage Axis rifles, do not get the ones that have the Bushnell scopes. The Bushnell scope came on this one, and I fired 30-some rounds out of it the first day I went out with it, and the vertical crosshair started migrating to the left. Not a very good thing. So we fired even more out of it, and I don't know if you ever know what a funhouse mirror looks like when you're looking at it, but that's how it looked when you're looking through the scope. It was horrible. I ended up taking it back, and they put a Simmons scope on it. It's a it's a 9x40 power. It's an 8-point. It's not bad. I mean, it works. Let's see if I can get you guys to see through the scope here. I don't know if you can see right down there. I doubt it, but that's out. It's not bad. And I'm gonna take the bolt out for you and show that to you. And there's the bolt. Savage written right on it. Firing pin. It's definitely not a bad gun. I've been hitting dead center, well, in at least a 4 or so inch spread on that target with that. And this little bipod that I showed you last time, it's actually UTG, Monster Client Bipod. I know I said new gen, but it's a UTG new gen. But it works beautiful. Fold it down just like that, and it goes right on the gun. Fits just like that. You could also flip it the other way and have the legs go outwards. But I like it like this because it's compact and it fits easier in my gun safe, which I will show you in just a minute. This is my Sentinel safe. It's a 10 gun safe, and I got one of my Army medals. It's the first medal I got. But inside we have our little compartment for my 308 and the 20 gauge. Got the tools and everything up top shelf, and that's an old rangefinder my father gave me. I got my knife and a 20 gauge laser sight to try and sight it in, but it never worked. Couple number 6 shot for my shotgun. Those are all the rounds that I have fired out of this gun, my 308 so far. And let's see, there's 240 rounds plus 4 rounds of the soft point ammo. And I got another nifty little thing my father made me. It's a little tripod that he made. Tried it out a few times. It works. It's fairly nifty. You got to make sure that you put something soft going around this part, otherwise it's going to scratch up your gun. But I mean, I tried this a few times. It works. Just decided that I wanted to actually get a bipod that worked, so I didn't have to worry about scratching up my guns. But that is my Sentinel safe. Cost me a couple $100 right up at Walmart. Not a bad deal. It's got a combination lock on it, 3-number combination. Keeps the kids out, keeps the wife out, keeps anybody out that wants to get in it. But yeah, there it is. Now when it comes to cleaning the guns, I've gone through, I had this little almost military style gun cleaning kit. It was fine and all, but it had like a cable for the rod, so it was very flexible. You couldn't push anything through the barrels. You had to pull it through, take the thing off, pull it through again. Got to be way too troublesome. So I went and got me this. This is a hops, or hoppy, whatever you want to call it, gun cleaning kit. And probably like $15–20 for the whole kit. That didn't come with it, but it's pretty good. It's a foaming gun cleaner. High performance, cleans down to the pores, removes carbon, lead, and copper scent free. Nifty, works really well. Also got the regular liquid bore cleaner. Does the same thing as the foam, but I think the foam works a lot better because it sits in the barrel and it takes like 10 minutes for it to eat everything away, and it stays foamed the whole time until you push it through with the bristle brush. Also have my Hoppies gun oil. It comes with this green mat with the logo on it to set your gun on and clean. Pretty nifty. Haven't used it yet. I've always done it on the coffee table downstairs or up here on my desk. It also came with this big white cloth, which I've been cutting up and using for extra patches because I don't have very many patches to clean the guns. But they also make, Hoppies also makes gun patches, and I cut the package down so it fits in here. But the cleaning rod that I have for the 20 gauge is pretty thick, but it's got to be to go down that barrel. But this one does not fit the tools in this case. This one, the tools, I have to buy more tools for this rod because this one doesn't fit anything that's in this bag. So we'll set that one aside. Now, the one that comes with it is a lot thinner, so you can see. This one is the one that doesn't fit anything in here, but this one is a lot smaller and a lot flimsier than the other one. So it still works. I mean, it bends a little bit, but it also works for both guns. Got bristle brush. It's got all different of these things to hold the patches to send through the barrel when you got your bore cleaner or your gun oil on to send them down. It's got all the brushes for all the different gauges and calibers. So got those. They're a pain in the ass to get in and out, but pardon me, smoke break. Cowboy Killer menthols, definitely doing the trick. But that's my gun cleaning kit. I'm not gonna clean my guns or take my time and clean the guns on cam for you guys because most of you guys already know how to clean them. So, but oh, and I wanted to show you the targets, the brand targets that we used. I got them up at Walmart. Again, I get a lot of my targets and shit up at Walmart. They're Birchwood Casey. I think that's the brand. They're called Easy Score targets. They're not bad. They're paper targets. I usually try and get the spatter targets, easier to see from a distance. Sorry, smoke's getting into the camera. But spatter targets are a lot easier to see from a distance, especially if you're trying to group your shots up. With these, it's harder to see them at a distance because it's just shooting through the paper. You don't see no white ring around them like you do with the spatter targets. But yeah, that's what I use to clean my guns. Seeing my ammo, my guns, and my gun cleaning kit. I got one more thing to show you, and it's coming right up. Hello again. What I wanted to show you real quick is something else that my dad gave me, which means a lot to me every time he gives me something because it's always something that's been handed down. This is my grandfather's hunting knife. It's a nice leather case, really old. Nice little leather case. The knife itself is pretty old looking. It's not dinged up. You can see it says USN on the right here. So it's a fairly neat little knife. I gotta sharpen that after I clean the guns, but it's still fairly sharp. It's what I've been using to take out when I go squirrel hunting. I do have another knife, but not as good as this one. This one works pretty well for going through bone. I believe this is the same knife that my dad used to gut my deer last year. What he did is showed me how to do it and told me the next one I get is on me. So hope you guys enjoyed watching the video, and I'll see you next time.